Okay, so first, I'm gonna show you what we're accomplishing on top, what we're gonna work on at the end of the seminar. And then I'm gonna show you what a little drill that we're gonna do from bottom and top. So it's gonna be a two-partner drill. So lay down, Apollo. So first, Apollo's gonna get me in De La Riva. He's hooking my leg. His hand is grabbing behind my ankle. And he's gonna have a collar grip, cross collar grip here, okay? So this is a common grip situation that we're gonna come across in the De La Riva. The ankle grip, usually they're either gonna grab the ankle or the pants, okay? Like the front of the pants, don't grab inside. But those are the main variations of grips on this side. On this side, the collar is like the most common. Sometimes they'll control this sleeve. Oftentimes they'll control the cross sleeve. This grip stinks. I hate dealing with this grip. And if they play with the collar, a lot of times like they're going to be working between, because I might try and break the grip, which makes him grab my cross collar or cross sleeve. So we're going to be working from the cross grip. So now let's talk about what I'm going to try and do on top, all right? This collar grip is going to be a problem for me later on, but I don't always have to break it. It really depends on the situation. For this drill, we are going to work on breaking it because I think that's important. So I'm going to sit my hips down a little bit. I kind of drive my knees forward. I don't want my knees to be too high in the air because he might overhead sweep me, especially if he were like on collar sleeve or something like that. I want my hips low so it's hard for him to like play with my weight. Now I'm going to look to break this grip. I'm just going to make a C grip. I like to turn the wrist. I'm not grabbing the sleeve. I like grabbing the wrist. I'm going to turn the wrist. And now, instead of pulling like this, see all this slack, I'm like pulling on my own gi. I'm going to really straighten my back and create tension so there's no slack. Like, it's very tight here. Now it's easier to grip, okay? A lot of times with this cross collar grip, you get stuck here where you're just pulling against the own slack of your gi. I take the slack out, straighten my back, and now I use my arms and my back to break this grip. I immediately like to go to the legs, okay? Now I'm going to work on breaking his other control, which right now the most important to deal with is this hook. So I'm going to look to turn my toes towards the angle of his knee pit. Okay, you can see the bend of his knee. A lot of stuff we're going to do from the headquarters works on going with that angle. So I turn my toes, and at the same time, I straighten my leg. I'm going to use my hand, but just so you can see, like I should be able to do this without using my hand to get rid of that De La Riva hook. Okay, I'm going to use the extra pressure of my hand as I turn my toes, straighten the leg, kill that hook. Next step, I'm going to worry about this leg. I'm going to take a small back step. I'm going to stuff the leg in between my legs. Now, how I like to do the headquarters position, I drive my knee towards that angle and down. From here, we're stuffing and killing this leg, right? His heel is to his butt. It's very hard for him to extend this hook. I'm going to connect myself to him using collar grips. So I don't care which ones you use. You can grab collar and pants, or even double collar grips, okay? We're going to work primarily from these grips. So whichever leg the De La Riva hook I stuffed, I grab the collar. My other hand grabs the pants. We're going to sit here. I want you to just kind of feel the position. I'm in a low squat. If you're not flexible, that's okay. I can use the collar to pull me and hold me up, okay? I can be on my toes a little bit, but I don't want my head to come past his center line. That's when he's going to start elevating me. So when my head comes past his center line, he's elevating me, right? I also want my heel to my butt, my heels to my butt, okay? That's going to help make my hips heavy. It's going to help keep his heel to his butt. But the moment those things start separating, the head position or the hip position is when he can start elevating me, which is what we're going to work on next. So all we're going to do to start is break our break our collar grip, work on our De La Riva, stuff to headquarters, and hold. And then the bottom position, give a little resistance. Just feel the position out, and then I'm going to show you what we would do on bottom, and we'll kind of flow it into a two-partner drill, okay? I want everyone to try and partner up with someone lower ranked than you. If you're unfamiliar with De La Riva, talk to your partner. Try and get a partner who's familiar, okay? Let's go, 1, 2, 3. This shouldn't take long, guys. This should be very quick. So now let's talk about bottom position. What can I start to do if my partner is setting up the headquarters position, okay? So we're here. I have his ankle. I have the collar grip. Now, he may break the collar grip. He may not, okay? When I'm on top, I actually don't break the collar grip. I'll set up the headquarters without it, but you're going to see why you might want to break the collar grip with the next move that we do. But even if he breaks my collar grip, he starts to go back to my legs to set up his headquarters. Set up your headquarters. I can get the collar grip again, okay? Let's go back. So this next move, there's like a point of no return with this. I'm going to let him start to set up his headquarters. He kills my De La Riva hook. He starts stepping over my legs, pause. The moment he starts getting his hips down and gets my heel to my butt, it's too late. So I have to do this move kind of right at this point. Notice my heel's not connected to my butt. I have my foot hooked right behind his butt. I'm not over to the left. I'm not over to the right. I'm right in the center. I'm going to load him up by pulling the collar, but also bending my knees to my chest. I'm staying active with my hook, flexing my toes behind his butt. My goal, once I load him up, is going to be tilting him at a 45-degree angle. I want to get him to post one or both of his arms. So once we're in this pause moment, I'm going to do all of that and get him to post. Okay? Now look, all his weight is on his leg and his hands. I even have this leg pulled up. Now this collar grip that helped me pull him is now pushing him. I don't want him to drive back into me. I'm going to use this because now I have space to bring my foot to his thigh. And he's not going to stay here, right? If he stays here, it's going to be bad news for him. He's going to settle back into the De La Riva, stand all the way up. He's going to put his weight back on this foot, and I'm going to use that to recover back to my De La Riva hook. Okay? So again, he's going to go to set up his headquarters, go right here. I don't want to let him settle. Once he settles, go settle your weight. It's pretty hard. Okay? I have to start thinking about his head positioning, so using the collar to get his head out of position and start elevating. But it can be a grind. Like if my brother sits right here, go sit, I'm not moving him, okay? So I would be patient. If I'm patient with my grips, I can still do my attack because he's eventually going to have to move to set up his guard pass. So if we get here and we missed our moment, be patient. Because if he goes to go to knee cut, start to go to knee cut, now I've got my time, okay? So we're going to work from before that point of no return. As soon as he starts to stuff my leg, I'm thinking about loading him up, bringing him at a 45-degree, make him post his hands. It's really important now I'm pushing the collar because I might need extra space to get my leg back to his thigh. Once he settles his weight back to this foot, I swing right to De La Riva. Okay? So this is going to be a two-partner drill. I want each of you to go 2-3 times, do the off balance, and then you'll switch. And this is going to connect with what we're going to do next. I don't know if we're going to connect it in the drilling, but like what we're going to work on next is getting his hips to the floor. Okay, so a common thing to do is like, I don't want to recover my De La Riva and then just stay here again, because he's going to do the same thing. He's going to stuff my leg. I want to recover and start attacking, getting his hips to the floor. Okay. So don't worry about that last part, but just start as we can start thinking about ahead. Like, I don't want you guys to think, oh, I did the recovery, I'm good. No, that's the time to attack. Because if I chill, he's going to do the same thing. And then I got to do it again. And then he's going to do the same thing. Okay? So last time, partner drill. He sets at the headquarters. I off balance, recover my De La Riva, and then he'll do it two more times, and then you guys will switch. Okay? Let's go same partners. 1, 2, 3.
So we're going to transition now to like the first attack we're going to be taking a look at from De La Riva when we're on bottom, and that's going to be the Berimbolo. Has anyone, show of hands, anyone heard of the Berimbolo or drilled it before? Show of hands. Cool. This is going to be great. So my goal, can you move out of the way a little bit? So my plan is like to break this down into 3 different parts. The first part, like Professor Justin mentioned, is getting their hips to the mat. This can be the most difficult part because you're having to work with the De La Riva guard to actually set up the move. Once the hips hit the mat, it's kind of a linear sequence that involves a roll to take the back. So the Berimbolo is like a rolling back take that kind of bypasses all the guard passing and stuff that you would normally have to do and gets you straight to the back. So it's a great move. It's a really, really good option. And it's all about angle. De La Riva is all about creating an angle. I think that what De La Riva does really well is it actually allows you to maintain an angle. So I saw a lot of people kind of being very square on with their guard initially, which is okay. We can get to De La Riva from here, but you can see it can be very hard for me to get this hook in. And I took this away from Lachlan Giles. What he actually likes to do is use his knee against the side of their knee to start and to turn and point it towards the inside. And what that does is it actually starts to make it difficult for Eli to turn his hips out to the right. Makes it very difficult. Notice, guys, like just real quick, if I point my knee in and try to turn my body this way, it's very difficult. If I want to turn my hips to face the glass, I actually have to like start to move my knee out, and now my hips are facing the glass. So the De La Riva guard is really strong and really good at forcing them. The hook is just a reinforcement of that knee pointing inward, okay? And that's how we're going to create our angle so we can start to enter into the Berimbolo sequence. So step one, angle, right? We can grab the collar. My non-De La Riva leg is floating. It can frame. It can push. It can post on the mat. And it can also be used to push at the belly, which is what we're going to get to shortly. So that's what this is doing. This, again, just keeping that pressure in on the knee. I can sit up, fall to the side, and then use my elbow to start to pull me around the corner. And I can continue to do this until I get all the way around to the side. Okay, now notice I have a really strong angle, back exposure. At this point, I might not even go for the hips to the mount. I might just start going right away to the back or a deep De La Riva hook, something like that. So we're going to start, guys, with just put this leg forward and lean forward a little bit. So no grips. We go collar grip, pant grip. We fall to the side, keeping our knee close to our chest, and we scoot our hips forward, inserting our De La Riva hook, making sure we are thinking about getting that knee pressure to create our angle. Right now, we already have a pretty strong angle. So what I want to do is use my De La Riva hook as a spring. I'm going to pull him towards me, bringing my knees to my chest. I've started to load him up now on top of me. And then I'm going to use the collar and my non-De La Riva leg to push and drop his hips down to the mat, like so. I keep my De La Riva hook. My non-De La Riva leg is staying on his belly. I keep the lapel grip, and I keep the ankle grip. And we're going to stop here. So his head's forward, his legs forward. We start with a collar grip. We grab the ankle, fall to the side. What I don't want to do, guys, is fall like this. He's going to start to pass my guard. I keep my knee very close to my chest. I'm actually like falling on top of my own elbow, like so. And then scooting my hips in, sorry, buddy, to get the De La Riva. From here, I use my legs like a spring to pull him towards me. And then my non-De La Riva leg pushes into his belly as my collar grip guides him to the mat, like so. My non-De La Riva leg stays planted on his chest so he can't drive back into me. And we're going to stop right there. So if you want, you can add the headquarters, like guard recovery. Start in headquarters, off balance, come out, come around the corner, get the angle, and then drop the hips to the mat. Let's go same partners. 1, 2, 3. How do we feel about that first part? Good? Cool. All right, so now we're going to get into the linear, just basic Berimbolo sequence. It's pretty, it can be a little bit confusing at first, but a good way to think about it, Professor Maroof, one of my good training partners, used this analogy when he first taught me the Berimbolo, and that is like once you get underneath the car, we need to change our tools. So I have the collar, I have the De La Riva hook, I have the ankle grip. We need to make some adjustments here before we can start to get into the rolling sequence. So it's gonna help, guys, that we go for the belt. So instead of grabbing the collar, we're gonna move to the belt. That's our first step. The De La Riva hook that was on the near side leg is gonna extend through to a deep De La Riva hook. Everyone see that? This leg, the non-De La Riva leg that was on his belly initially to make sure he could not come back up into me, is going to go shin across the belt. Notice now I'm already starting to get my hips up off the mat, past the knee line, and get into my roll, okay? And I want to roll so that my head goes in between his legs. So I use the collar grip to pull my head in between his legs, like so. This is not a place we want to hang out. When you do this move fast, this isn't a place that you really want to be for very long, but for demonstration purposes, I'll stop here for a second. So we're underneath the car now. It's time to change our tools. The basic transition is going from a pant grip on the near side, the De La Riva leg, the initial De La Riva leg, to the far side. We're gonna grab right here. I think my mic just fell off, but it's all good. Now it's very simple. All we're gonna do is use all of our grips now. The pant grip, the belt grip, and these two legs to bring my heels to the mat and pull him forwards. And now notice I have back exposure. And that's what we were going for the whole time. We'll work on finishing the back take in just a second, but I'm gonna show that again. So we get the hips to the mat, load them up, drop them down. We change our tools. I go from lapel to belt. I go short De La Riva to deep De La Riva, and I go shin across the belly. I pull myself towards him. This is the biggest mistake I think most people have when they learn this the first time, is they end up doing this roll, and they're way too far away. Notice, see how far away I am. I lost all my grips. All my connection to him is gone. That's not what we want. We need to make sure that we stay tight with our De La Riva hook and our shin across the belly, so that when we roll, our head is very close to his hips. I switch my grip, and heels go to the mat, bringing him up like so. One more time faster. Anyone need to see it again? Any questions?
Plenty of questions. How are now?
All right, let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Peace. How are we feeling about that part? Like right here?
Yeah.
Not here, just, yeah, okay. That's okay. This can be, you really have to have like the ability to kind of just like tuck your head and roll, which can be a little bit confusing at first. But for the most part, everyone looked like they were doing really well. Let's just finish the move now. We're pretty much there. I spring load him up. I drop his hips to the mat. Switch to the belt. Deep De La Riva goes through. Shin goes to the belly. I pull tight. I'm underneath the car now. We switch our tools. Heels down, and we get that back exposure. Right now, he's kind of far away from me. So what I want to do is stay tight with this bottom side hook and actually pinch his hips with my knees. My knees are staying tight, staying pinched, so that he can't get away right away. What I'm looking for is a seatbelt. I'm not worried about the hooks. The seatbelt should always come first. Once you have the seatbelt connection, you can reset the position 50 times if you need to finally get your hooks in. But if I can get that chest to back connection, that's what I'm going for. So this foot that would be going in for the hook is going to come out and post on the mat. And at the same time, I'm going to be like hopping up and grabbing my seatbelt. Once I get my seatbelt, I can stretch him out and insert my top hook. And now I have the back. And we can start to attack it. All right. So, pull tight, hips to the mat, extend through, roll, and we get here. I stay pinched on his hips with my knees. My foot posts on the mat and I jump up to his back. Now I can stretch him out and put the hook in. Okay? Guys, if you're having trouble with the roll through, if you're able to get to the position here, but you're having trouble with the mechanics of rolling through, it's all right. All I'm going to do is think about putting my toes on the mat, and my non-de la Riva leg is just going to shoot through like this. Now you come up. We can get our 2 points. Now we score. If we want, we can roll back through when we feel ready. But if you're having trouble with the roll, just come up. Pull them tight. Drop them down. Come up. And shoot through. Just get your points. Either one's fine for today. Any questions? Anyone need to see it again?
So I'm not as flashy. I'm not going to show you guys any cool Berimbolo action, but I will show you some things that do work and everybody here should be able to do. So there's a few things we can do. Like Shupe showed you more of what we want to do to start attacking the back, right? But we have other options with de la Riva to set up other positions. If for whatever reason the back exposure isn't there, maybe he's like really fighting it hard, he's not letting me, right? So we can start attacking the other side. So the first thing we're gonna drill or kind of work on is gonna be a very basic setup to what is called a modified X guard or like a stand-up sweep. So everything is the exact same. You can grab the pants or you can grab the ankle, whatever you prefer, grabbing the collar. So my goal here, number one, is anytime I'm in de la Riva, if I can keep his posture controlled, this is really good for me. The further away he is, the less I have control-wise. So I'm trying to keep this nice and tight. Maybe I'm trying to go around, but he's really not letting me. So I'm going to use the momentum of trying to like go towards his back to come back across this way. And I'm going to use this other leg, the non-de la Riva leg, to extend his leg out here. I want to keep this grip here on the collar if possible. My goal is to bring this leg as close to me as I can because I'm going to try to reach for it. So I'm here, I'm extending, I want this leg close. All I'm going to do is switch from the collar grip to a scoop grip under this leg. Once I'm here, I'm still keeping my knees kind of close to my chest. That way he can't step over and try to do a guard pass. I'm scooping underneath, pulling myself underneath him. I can still keep this grip to make sure he can't move it. I'm hugging if I can. My knee is going to go in right behind his knee. This leg is going to come up. My foot is, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to push my legs out and at the same time use that momentum to sit up. So I'm here. You can even kind of pull your knees to your chest to load up. I'm extending, coming up. I'm controlling nice and tight. You can come up, finish this way. Or if you want to, you can even pull across, start attacking the hips, going to the back. Man, this thing loves to come off. See it. So I'll show this one more time, a little bit slower, and I'll show it a little bit more full speed. So I'm in de la Riva, working the grip, keeping him nice and tight. Maybe I'm going for the back, but he's not letting me. I'm using momentum to extend him out. Sit that leg up, cool. If I need to, I'll keep working him up. I'm under scooping. Keeping my knees really close together at first. This knee is behind his, pushing him out. Now I'm using this. I'm extending up. Coming up, can start even attacking this leg. Start working my guard passing. All right, I'll do this full speed one time. All right, does anybody need to see that again? Or do we feel pretty good about that? Pretty good? All right, same partners on 3. 1, 2, 3. So one thing I want to let you guys know is this isn't, like, de la Riva in general is not a position where you're static, right? It's very much moving all the time, trying to get their momentum somewhere or the other. Otherwise, it can be a very easy position to get smashed in and people to start forcing passing. So one thing I'm seeing when we're setting this up, all right, come here, Eli, is like with De La Riva, when I'm playing this or what Coach Shupe showed us, is I'm never just sitting here, right? I'm either always trying to go to the back. If not, he's starting to sit up. Now I'm coming here and I'm starting to attack these other ones, right? I'm constantly getting him to move back and forth. So one thing that you guys are struggling with is this is meant to go if he's not giving me the back, right? I start going behind. He steps this leg up. I can feel his momentum. I'm pulling and I'm extending this up. Remember, my knees are still close. That way, I'm not sitting here trying to reach super far for his leg. It's already come to me. All I have to do is make a small adjustment, right? You could even start turning his knee in, which makes this a lot easier to sit up with. Okay, so go back. Now, the second thing I wanted to show from here is rather than doing the modified X guard, we're going to go into what is something called waiter sweep. So the position's really simple. It's the same setup. I'm here, right? I'm pulling, I'm extending this out. I'm going to attach to this leg. So the same thing is still done. I'm scooping here. The only difference is rather than going like this, I'm going to underhand both legs, and I'm going to pull, here, come here. Yep, I'm going to pull him onto me. So this leg's underneath, this leg's over. If you can keep them nice and close. Ideally, I want to reach here and be able to grab his belt. If not, his pants, right, if you have short arms like me. But you can grab the belt. I'm going to scoop, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to extend and sit him back from here. From here, it's fairly simple. I hug the leg, shift the hips, coming up, trying to pull up. Now, neither of these positions are going to put you in anything like perfect for side control or half guard. Sometimes it will be a scramble, or sometimes you're going to have to start going immediately into guard passing, but it's better than getting smashed. So from here, maybe I'm attacking the back. He's not letting me. Pulling him up. I extend. All I'm doing is scooping, hugging to this leg. I've got both hips. Grab the belt if needed. If not, I can grab the pants. All I'm going to do is I'm going to extend and rock up, have him come up. I can come here, technical lift, start passing. Or we could go to just a regular X guard from here, right? If I pull him, I can extend him up. Maybe we come here. It's fairly easy to just come here, start playing X guard, right? So there's multiple avenues we can go from here. So don't feel like you have to do the waiter sweep. You can also attach the legs, start playing X guard, start doing the sweeps you did earlier. Right, there's multiple positions from there. That's it, brother.
All right, now we're gonna work some guard passing, okay? I know that was a lot for some of us, and you may take away like one technique or one part of the techniques that you learned today, and that's okay. That's how seminars go. It's a lot of information. My advice after class is like take some time to like think about what you learned and write it down. That's gonna help you commit it to memory, okay? So now we're gonna work from the headquarters position, our passing. So just to review, he's gonna have his De La Riva. Again, I can work on breaking the collar grip, but if I know the principles of like what he's gonna try to do to off balance me, I don't always have to break this collar grip. I just have to make sure that when I break his De La Riva hook, I start stuffing this leg, that I really sit my hips down and I pressure his heel to his butt, okay? From here, the headquarters is an awesome position because I've slowed him down, like I've stopped a lot of his movement to start my own attacks. Whereas I can pass De La Riva from here, right? I can do leg drags, okay? I can do a leg drag to this side. I can do a lot. But I'm also in a position where he can do a lot too. But when I go to set up the headquarters, his options are pretty limited at this point. I can predict what he's gonna do. I can either pass his guard based off of his reactions, or I can pass the guard how I want to, okay? But I'm slowing him down a lot. I've got his legs kind of killed right now. He effectively doesn't have attacks until he can off balance me and get back to a better guard, all right? So remember I talked about grips, having same side collars, pants. I generally prefer these grips, so same side as the De La Riva, pulling the collar in. So I'm not just grabbing the collar and just holding it. I need to pull, create some tension. If he's just chilling like this, I'm gonna do an X pass, which is what we worked this week. Like if he's not grabbing my ankle, I'm gonna lift my hips, start passing the guard. But I wanna work when he is grabbing my ankle, okay? So a lot of it's gonna depend on this knee. If he leaves this knee out, I'm gonna think knee cut. If this knee's in, I'm gonna think leg weave this direction. Now, some of it's gonna be how he's posturing or putting his leg, but also I can put his leg in the position, right? If I wanna go knee cut, I can let go of the pants, grab on the knee, open up the knee. Now I have the space for the knee cut. If I wanna go leg weave, I can smash the knee, start going that direction, all right? So first we're gonna go to a knee cut, which is an amazing guard pass, but it's not my preference. I actually prefer to go this way to the leg weave. But I think the knee cut is very important for us to know. So I'm gonna open up his knee. I'm gonna start looking for some lateral movement as I drive my knee across his hip here, okay? I keep the collar for this, but as I start to use my lateral movement, some space, keep my ankle, space opens up right here. So I can start shooting my hand to the mat as I drive my knee to the mat as well. We can go deep with our underhook here or shallow with our underhook. This is like the wiltsy pass. This is how I always do it. I prefer the deep one. It doesn't really matter, okay? As long as we have the underhook and we have our knee to the mat. My next step is gonna be controlling this sleeve. I don't want him to start, he's probably gonna let go of the collar at this point. He could potentially start building up to his elbow, build up, like get up to your elbow, and start working on getting the underhook. So I'm gonna control this sleeve. I like to grab behind the elbow and I'm gonna pull it up. From here, he's probably, whoa, did you hear that? It's my knee.
Oh, shit.
He's probably gonna have my leg locked here, okay? So instead of continuing to drive my knee forward, I'm gonna kind of slide my knee along his leg at an angle and pass the guard, all right? I'm keeping my chest up while I talk, but really, when I do this, I like to have my chest down. I'm gonna slide along his leg, clear it. Now, I like to, instead of going to side control, I like to walk his hips down with my hips. Now I start to get to side control. Less chance of him recovering his guard. So again, we go to our De La Riva. I'm gonna work on getting to my headquarters position, so get a good hooks. Keep this leg back. All right, so we're settling in. Again, collar and pants. Now I'm gonna look to open up his knee. I'm gonna start using lateral movement. Space opens up, I drive my hand to the mat, and now I can work on either keeping getting a deep underhook or even pulling on the elbow here. I prefer here, okay? I'm gonna start leaning my weight forward, driving my knee to the mat. I'm gonna grab behind his elbow, and now instead of going straight through, I'm gonna slide along the angle of his foot or his leg. If he holds onto my leg here, I can use my other leg to free my leg. Now, I don't like to go straight to side control. I might leave him space to like recover. If I just go here, there's a lot of space for him to recover his guard. So I'm gonna use my hips to walk his hips down and now recover, or sorry, get my side control position. Headlock under the arm. So, one last time. We can do this slow or fast, guys. Like, we can really shoot the knee cut or we can take our time. Like, if you're not fast, it may look something like this, right? We open up the knee, we shoot through, get our control, get our guard pass, and side control. Or we can do it a little faster, a little more explosive, a little more athletic. Here, okay? Let's really work on getting our finish, walking the hips down, and getting our side control. So let's practice that, and then we're gonna do one more guard pass, and we're gonna get to specific training. Do you have a question? Oh, 1, 2, 3. I've never seen. I'm gonna use you again. Okay, now we're gonna work like leg weave or side smash. This could be done, really all these things can be done a bunch of different ways, but I'll show you how I do it. So we're gonna get into the headquarters position. I actually like to, like, as soon as I start to get to the headquarters, I like to start stuffing this knee here, okay? This helps mitigate his elevation. It's harder for him to elevate me if his leg is pointed over here and also this direction, okay? So I'm gonna start pushing his knee across. Now, I'm gonna look to make a belt grip with my thumb inside, palm down. I'm gonna start using lateral movement to get to the side. This grip, if he's really holding on, I'm gonna have to break the grip. So I need to drive my knee alongside this knee pit, the crook of his knee, okay? Sometimes you may have to post your hand when you do this. If you can keep the collar while doing it, that's great. If you have to post your hand, that's fine too. I'm gonna look to, at the same time, bring this leg behind his butt. Keep your knee back. I'm gonna start to drive both of my knees across here. That's gonna clear this hook. Now I can kickstand my leg, and this other leg is stapling his. Turn. My toes are behind his leg. Sometimes we can bring our leg all the way through. The problem is, especially like no-gi, we have to start worrying, even here, we have to worry about certain leg attacks and leg entanglements. But in the gi, we don't really have to worry about it, okay? Once I'm here, let's rotate back. Once I'm here, I'm in the side smash position or the leg weave position. I like to have my knee pinned in. Some people like to just sprawl on the legs here. Either is fine. I find the more I sprawl, depending on how lanky they are, they can get my leg again. I feel more comfortable, almost like a knee cut through the backside of his legs here. All right. This belt grip, once I get to this point, I'm gonna turn my shoulder in, dropping it here. Okay, I don't wanna leave my shoulder up, it's too much space. I wanna turn my shoulder in and drop. I'm keeping his legs pinned together using like the weight of my torso. Okay, so I'm heavy on his legs. I'm not thinking about being heavy on his upper body just yet. I need to get his legs in this position where they're pinned over to the side. Ideally, completely closed off, right? So once we kind of settle in this position, now I can start working on passing. I can pass this direction, or I can pass to the backside, okay? If I start going to the backside, there's less chance of him recovering his guard, right? So if we think about the guard as like old school, like sonar or radar, those are the legs. I'm getting his legs to one side, and I'm making that radar really small, okay? So now that leaves all this space on this backside to pass. So once I'm here, I have the collar. I can use this collar grip to go a little lower and bring my elbow to his leg, okay? Because now I want to start working my other leg to the backside. From here, I can start windshield wiping, and I like to get like behind this leg, or even using my hook to get behind here. From here, I'm gonna start walking to the side and clearing his guard, keeping the pressure till I get here. Now I'm gonna let go one grip at a time. If I let go both grips at a time to try to get the underhook, he's either gonna turn into me, or he's gonna turn away. So what I would do is let go of the hip and start getting the head, because this collar grip is gonna save me from him turning away. I can prevent that. Get the head, get under the arm. So we're in our headquarters position. I'm gonna think about stuffing his leg to the other side, get the belt, thumb in. Now I'm gonna start driving my knee to the crook of his knee. At the same time, you keep your leg back. I'm gonna use my other leg to do the same thing. So I look awkward here, right? I'm not gonna stay here. I'm gonna start to drive to clear that. Now I can post, and I'm gonna keep his legs smashed. So I'm using my torso, I'm turning my shoulder with my belt grip, and I'm staying tight. So now I can start working on passing to the backside. Use this collar grip, go to the knee, push it down. I can start to thread this through. Some people like to just start stapling the leg. Doesn't really matter, guys. Once I'm here, I'm pretty in the clear as long as I can keep his legs pinned. Now I can start walking to the side, keeping the pressure, letting go one grip at a time, hugging the head and hugging under the arm. All right? Play around with it, guys. Play around with the pass I showed you. Stay there. But also, I won't go into it because I want to get to specific training, but think about how I could start passing this direction as well. I can treat it just like half guard. Underhook, smash. I can even pass straight to mount. I could pass by just clearing this leg, backstepping. All right? So do the first one and then see if you can kind of come up with your own way of passing to the other side. Let's go, 1, 2, 3.